Well, here we are, the long-awaited Loki Season 2 video. Long-awaited by who? Probably only me. No one really watches these, but I enjoy making them, so I'm gonna keep making them. You may be thinking to yourself, Season 2 came out in October, and it's the end of February. We've got like 1 or 2 days left of February. It's probably March, honestly, by the time this is coming out. But you may be thinking to yourself, it came out in October. Yes, I didn't watch it till December. Crazy. I was like 2 months late. And then another 2 months late, almost 3 months late, because I just sat on it and didn't make a video. Shame on me, but here we are, it's finally happening. Look, I bought this hat like a year ago and I've never worn it. Now I get a chance to wear it. Yippee! Loki Season 2 and Loki as a whole, as a show, has been one of the best things that Marvel has done post-Endgame. And honestly, after Season 2, it's a shame that we may never see any of these characters again, what with all the behind the scenes stuff that's going on with Marvel, and then just the future of Marvel in general. Things are uncertain. So it really is a shame that we may never get a Season 3, we may never pick up these characters' stories in other shows or movies, but honestly, I really wish we would. These are some of the best and most compelling characters that Marvel has had in the last 5 years, and some of the best performances. Season 2 really gave opportunities for all of the cast to have their time to shine. Something that I really found interesting that this show was able to do was have such a futuristic and retro feel at the same time. It's not something you often get, and it definitely deserves appreciation. Season 2 of Loki gave me a nostalgic feeling, and I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but that's the only way I know how to describe it. This show is very young. Season 1 came out just a few years ago, and we're leaving now with Season 2, maybe forever. And I don't know why it gave me this nostalgic feeling, but here's my theory. The soundtrack, specifically Purpose is Glorious, just has that, I don't know, this otherworldly nostalgic feeling. And some of the performances, specifically by Owen Wilson, whenever Agent Mobius goes and sees the life he could have had, I don't know, it just hits you in this way that cuts deep. And I don't know if that's nostalgia, but it feels similar. And I don't really know why, I can't really explain it, but that's part of the beauty of what they were able to do in this season, is they really made you feel for these characters. Some Marvel shows, and some shows in particular, only have a few episodes a season, similar to this show, and it's hard to really connect with the characters on an emotional level, but this show was able to do it. And I know it had 2 seasons, so 12 episodes is more than 6, but even still, it's amazing what they were able to do with so little time. I think the fact that they wrote this show to be 2 seasons did it a massive service. They weren't trying to come up with the second season after the fact. They had a full story and it just happened to be split into 2 seasons. I think that went a long way with the storytelling and with the connection to the characters that you feel. And another thing that contributes to this nostalgia feeling is the tone, the way it ends, just the all-encompassing feel of it. It's not a happy story or a happy ending, but it's also not a sad ending or a sad story. It's always somewhere in the middle. We fluctuate to moments of happiness, to moments of sadness, but it's always this uncertainty feeling that just drives this show. There's just this feeling of uncertainty, of otherworldliness in a way that you don't get in a lot of shows. And even now, as I'm trying to find the words to describe it, I really can't describe the way that this show made me feel. Especially this season. Season 1 had a different feel, but this season really amped up this, I don't know, otherworldly feeling that I can't describe. And this feeling that Season 2 of Loki gives me isn't one that I've experienced watching another show, not any that I can remember at least. There are other shows that have made me feel deep emotions in different ways, but this one is a new emotion, one that I've never felt in any show or any movie that I can remember. But I'm gonna keep talking myself in circles if I try to describe this feeling that the show gave me. So let's move on to something that Season 2 is able to do very well. I think that Season 2 was able to be a very different type of story from Season 1, which is kind of crazy that it was written all at the same time. and it was written to be 2 seasons, and season 2 is so vastly different from season 1, and yet there are some similarities. I think that season 2 was able to do a lot for character development, even from season 1. It was able to give Loki a lot more character development and change his character in even more ways. And the same with characters like Sylvie. We get to see what she's like after she finally gets what she wants, and other characters as well. And I don't think Loki gets enough credit for what it was able to do for its titular character, and also for these characters that were new and introduced in this show. You didn't have that much time, but you were still able to craft a story so beautiful that you felt connections and you cared about these characters that were just introduced as if you knew them for a long time. And I don't know how you do that other than just great writing and great performances. Now, I know a lot of the characters' fates in this show are uncertain. As a matter of fact, all of them are uncertain. But I like that it leaves the door open to where you can bring back these actors to reprise their roles at any given time if the story permits. And with the release of the trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine, there is a chance that we could see some of these characters because we see the TVA, even though none of them are in the trailer. I feel like it would be a bit odd for Deadpool and Wolverine to have the TVA and not have B-15 at least, or someone from the TVA that we know will make an appearance. But then again, I don't want it to be a cameo just for the sake of a cameo. Now, the reason I'm not banking on seeing B-15 or anyone else from the TVA that we know in Deadpool and Wolverine is that that whole storyline wrapped up in a beautiful way, and I don't know if they're gonna want to expand on it any. You could just leave it how it is. And another thing is, there's been a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on. Obviously, there's big Jonathan Majors news. Well, I guess it's old news now, but what's gone on with him has still been a significant development to the future of Marvel. You're gonna have to replace him or change the storyline completely and focus on another character. And for me at least, that throws into doubt the entirety of the Loki storyline. I don't know if they're gonna try to continue on that because you've already got a great ending, and with all that's gone on, I think Marvel is trying to play it safer now, and maybe that changes some of their plans for the future of these characters. I think season 2 of this show was really beautiful, and in my opinion, I prefer it to the first season. The first season was still really good, a clear, concise story, but season 2 really just expanded on that and made it even better. Going back, if I ever watch the first season of this show, which I probably will, it'll be that much better just because I know what happens next. And after season 2, Loki is my new favorite MCU show. From when they started with WandaVision till now, this is the best one that they've done. And a lot of that goes to the writers who made a great story and the actors who really brought it together. Again, having it written as one full story just split in two really worked wonders. They should do that more often with these type of shows. I know you have to be guaranteed a season 2 for that to really make practical sense, but if you know you're gonna have it, this is the approach you should take. And on top of this being the best MCU show, I would say it's top 3 for post-Endgame Marvel. I would put Shang-Chi in there, Loki, and probably Guardians 3, if you're asking me. I know No Way Home, a lot of people are gonna say No Way Home, and I get it. I'd probably put No Way Home in 4th, but I think that No Way Home benefits from nostalgia a lot more than people give it credit for. The story is still good, performances are still good in that movie, but a lot of it is the nostalgia factor, more than people are willing to admit. But for this is just a completely new thing. It gives you that nostalgia feeling without really pulling on your nostalgia in any particular way. And I think that that's something that you don't see very often. I don't really have a plan when I turn on the camera to record these. I kind of just start talking about whatever comes to mind in regards to the topic. So that about wraps it up. There's other things I could talk about, but I'm not trying to be long-winded and say things that everyone said, even though most of what I said probably is stuff everyone has said. I don't want to sit up here and talk about set design and all that. That we would be here all day. So until next time, this has been Loki Season 2. There's some Marvel things that I haven't seen that I'm gonna watch, so stuff's gonna be coming out. The Marvels I haven't seen and Echo I haven't seen, so those are gonna be coming out sometime. There's gonna be some other stuff sprinkled in. The Bad Batch is airing right now, so I'm doing that. Probably bi-weekly, depending on if anything important happens in a given episode. But yeah, it's gonna be terrible editing this video because I'm wearing a green hat. And if you want to support these videos and my channel, go ahead and give me a like, a comment, a subscribe. Anything helps. I'm making these basically just for me, so I can go back and watch them and remember my thoughts on stuff that I've watched because I have goldfish brain. So yeah, until next time. I already said that, but this time for real. Until next time, bye.